especially as a music artist, your life is your brand. We're going to talk about what does that mean? What does that mean that your life is your brand? I have had, I've worked with actors. They're really fun to work with because they're very used to taking direction, right? So they're like, let's go for it. Like Wendy gives me direction, I'm going for it. They're so open, and I love that about working with actors. Um, and one of the things that actors will say to me that where singing can be really scary, um, is there's nothing to hide behind, right? There's no character that you're playing. You're not, and which ultimately I do believe as an actor, you aren't hiding behind a character. You are bringing out a part of yourself and magnifying it for that character. So it's still very much you, but there's a script that isn't you. There's aspects that are not like being a vocalist, a music performer, where it is you. You are putting yourself really out there, your vulnerability in your songwriting. And I want to talk about how important that is, that and how we can use how do I use my life experiences to share and to create the brand that is me as an artist. Me as an artist, myself as a coach, Wendy Parr and the Parr method, leading Compass, which is about helping artists to brand themselves, to bring out the truth of who you are. I help artists see themselves and bring out their true voice, their truth of who they are, their authentic self. So how did your life experiences, how did your life and you make their way and make its way and reveal itself in your expression? So let's talk about all the ways and how important it is. And of course, there are artists that aren't that vulnerable, little vulnerable, right? And maybe that's how they are in life, right? Maybe that person who um, sings like love songs that are really fun and the lyrics aren't that deep, but you're really moved by them and they're great songs. And in their life, they're a player. They aren't into deep, intimate connection with one person for a long term and being faced with the challenges that brings them. I bet there's a match there. So, and everyone isn't required to be deeply vulnerable. Everyone's going to be themselves, right? Some people are showmen and performers, and that's the artist that they are. They are a showman and they are a performer, and their music will have like one song that's slightly vulnerable, and that really touches you and makes you cry, and the rest is really like, oh, this is fun, this feels good, I love this groove, and that's good, that's great, that's who they are. And so how is who you are make its way into your expression? How do you use your life as your expression of music, of brand, of social media content? Look at me here. This is the truth of Wendy right here. You got chip nail polish on 2 nails. Very Wendy. Imperfect. But why? I do the dishes. There are certain things that there's a realness to that's very Wendy. The fact that like, oh yeah, I should have taken a moment to like touch up my makeup before I did this, and make sure that I like the lighting of everything and such. But I am a person who values my inner world and the inner workings and vulnerability that I want to pass on to you as an artist. My my priority is your soul, your spirit, your expression over the external. I should up this game a little, probably. And if I gave myself like 20 more minutes in life, like I was a little late to this live. Why? Because I was talking to someone who's going to join the Compass program and giving them the time and energy to really communicate. And so I was a little late to this. And really what I should have done is stop my schedule 30 minutes before this live to give myself that time to primp a little and be prepared and have my water. But my priority was being of service to the artist, being of service to my business. And I'm okay with this. I'm really okay with this. So you see that genuine realness in my brand. I am not as shiny and polished as I'd like to be, but I'll get there. I'll get there when I have more free time between my life, my work, my family, my twin toddlers, you know. And there's some things that just need to be in place so that I can give myself a little more time. But again, if it was a priority, I would do it. My priorities are elsewhere. So ask yourself, like, what are your priorities? What matters to you that you want to communicate? What what life experiences what life experiences have you had that you need to write about, that you want to share about? Do you want to help people forget their troubles? Do you want to help people feel less alone? Do you want to help people just have a good time? Do you want to empower females? Do you want to talk about, like, what is your life experience and where are you in your life that you want to talk about things? Because that makes a difference too. You know, if you've just had kids, Ella Vos wrote songs about being a mom. Pop, electronic, dreamy pop songs about being a mother. Guess what? Her audience loved it. And a bigger audience who wanted to hear more and related to that found her. Congratulations on having nail polish with twin. This is the first manicure I have had, I think, in a year. I really was trying to remember. It's been a long time. Again, I do like to get my hair done. Like, I will get and even that, it'll get overgrown, but I do like to keep my hair up because my hair is important to me. Um, Life experiences. You know, what matters to you? What key things have happened in your life that make you who you are? And do you want to A, talk about them directly, or B, has it given you character traits and strengths that you want to embody and share in your persona? I'll give you an example. For myself, um, I went to, if I'm going to try to remember the number here, I went to 11 schools from kindergarten to college, and we moved a bunch of times. And of course, there's a pro and a con to everything. The pro of that is I can really talk to strangers. In fact, I love talking to strangers and meeting new people and having conversations, and I can just chat and talk to anybody. That quality of independence, it's also how I've traveled the world. I traveled the world alone for years, for over a decade. How does that present itself in my work? Well, it reveals itself in that I'm having a conversation with you right now. I can talk to strangers. I can connect. Please throw something in the comments. Let me have an exchange with you. It shows up in my work in that I love to have conversation and exchange, and that's what I'm going to do here. It shows up in my work that I traveled the world and trained voice teachers and did seminars for years. Oh, I'm gonna build a career about that engages traveling and meeting new people and empowering and impacting them. It shows up in my lyrical content that I can share. That my lyrical content will be about connection, will be about. It could also be about the loneliness of my experience of feeling lonely when I was a kid, that I was left to my own a lot, and that I didn't have, like, I lost my friends as a kid, that I lost my family as a kid. So my lyrics speak to loneliness, not necessarily even using the word loneliness, but beautiful heartache. Beautiful heartache is a core theme in my songwriting. Not always for other people when I write for other people, but it is for my own songs. And knowing that, and in fact, one time a fellow songwriter and artist said to me, "You write beautiful heartache." And I was like, "Oh, that's what it is." And then I wrote a song called "Beautiful Heartache" with Ned Albright. Oh God, I love that song. That song needs to find a beautiful home. So that clarity of, right, I write beautiful heartache allowed me to choose. Do I want to lean into that? Absolutely. That's the core of my own lyric writing right there. Beautiful heartache. Long-term illness where I can't travel, but very creative. Okay. So how does that impact you in the sense of do you want to share that with people? Is it something that you would specifically want to share, be it on social media or in your writing or in your art? Do you want to share the impact of that long-term illness? Do you want to share or build community around that? Do you want to share um, how you have coped and brought cope might not be the right word, but how creativity allows you to thrive. There's so many ways. Alec Chambers, Alec Chambers, who did my Compass program, he started to share about his stutter. He'd never shared that on social media. He got involved with a charity that helps people with speech impediment. It shifted his life and his activities in life. It shifted his communication with his fans. It changed the conversation. And what a beautiful thing that he was sharing that personal aspect of himself with his audience. It wasn't something he ever shared before. But he said, you know what? This is something that's really affected my life and it is very personal, and I want to share this with people. Other artists who do, for example, Monica Dagra, originally in a kind of alternative hard rock band, then started doing her own music that was a little bit more pop, and now is doing healing modality music, bringing people together for dance and meditation and specifically healing. And because she in her own life loved yoga and doing modalities that were healing for herself, and then that became a big channel of her music, her own interests, her own passions, her own life experiences. I know a lot of musicians who later become nutritionists or personal trainers, or I know a manager right now who's now a music manager who is now doing more coaching because of our own personal life experiences and things that have benefited us. And now you want to share that with other people. It can become a new vocation. It can become part of your world that you bring your fans into. So we're starting with lyrical content, and then we're going into experiences. Queen Herbie, who is empowering, badass bitch rapping, and then also does affirmation work and oils and has a community of people all to empower them to be their wonderful witchy selves, to be their creative selves. And then the experience she brings in her whole live and in her social media and in her Patreon is all of those things together, both as a whole and then shared uniquely in different ways. Uniquely, like there's affirmation specifically, and then there's lyrical content that's empowering. There's the tour has a live setup and a live show that it's incorporating. It's incorporating. I'm someone who loves to evolve as a person, that loves to grow as a human, and to create a life that I'm happier with, and to be a kinder, better person in the world, to be of service of the world, to to benefit the greater good. As a result, I have turned people on to healers. I've turned people on to meditation. In fact, my meditation teacher, Ziva Meditation, she told me, I didn't know this until I was at an event, a meditation event with her. And she told me, I, as an individual, have referred more people to her than any other individual. Meditation changed my life. I tell people about it. And now what do I have? I have a meditation bundle for artists. On my website, in my Parr shop, I created 3 meditations specifically for pre-show meditation. Before you perform, go to the recording studio, do anything public facing, there's a pre-show meditation. There's a meditation specifically for the throat chakra to open it up, to help you speak your truth. And there's a meditation to connect to your desire and your inner vision. Meditation was effective and changed my life. I said, how can I support others in this? I created meditations for artists. Who knew? Did I know that I was ever going to do that in my life? No. But my life affects my work and therefore my brand, call it a brand, right? and it's brought into my world and offered to my community. Compass. Oreo, how beautiful to see you here. I'm so glad you've joined us. Thank you. Incredible songwriter, producer, amazing. Lovely to see you. Compass, my 6-month artist development program. How did this come about? Again, my love of being in alignment with my inner vision and integrity, helping artists to truly express their voice, starts with the singing voice, opening it up so that your expression can come pouring out. You can do it night after night on tour. It becomes more fun. You are more confident. And then seeing, in 34 years of coaching, seeing artists who have the musicality but aren't telling the same story everywhere else. Their stage performance, their visuals, their persona on stage might really be clashing with who they are as a person. I had an artist who was very introverted, like being the most extroverted on stage, and we're like, well, this doesn't match. So as I worked with artists one-on-one on these aspects, I then developed this whole 6-month process that I'm like, I need to help people go from A to Z. I need to make sure like we're going through all these layers and not like, oh yeah, I did part 1, but I forgot to do part 2. So helping an artist fully emerge as themselves, and not just emerge. There's artists making their 5th record doing Compass. It's like, where are you now? How can I help you see yourself to express your voice effectively, congruently in all your expression? That's a very natural progression to who I am as a person. I love developing myself as a person. I empower artists to be themselves, express themselves. And now it's like, oh, okay. So how do we express yourself everywhere else? And so all these processes that I've created and come up with to help you see you is what developed Compass. Your life is your brand. Who are you? What are you about? Let's go really simple. I'd like you to think of 3 qualities that you have as a person that you really can you're like, yeah, that's me. I'm funny. Oh yeah, that's me. I'm full of kindness. I'm full of poetry. Just name 3 things that you really have in abundance. You are abundant in compassion. You're abundant in sarcasm and humor. Whatever it is, what are you abundant in? And then lean into those. Lean into, let's use one of them. I'll give you an example for me as a songwriter. I've been told in songwriting and co-writing sessions that what is appreciated about me is that I really help people, I help us in the session stay true to the integrity of the song. Again, we go back to inner vision, integrity, consistency, congruency. It's the same thing. I help us stay on point. Somebody wrote really cool lyrics for one of the songs we were doing. I said, those lyrics are really cool. However, if we use them, we are changing the story and going in this direction. If we all want to do that, we can, but they contradict the story that we want to say. So do we want to say that, or do we want to write something else? And everyone agreed, yeah, that save those lyrics for another song. They're fantastic. Wendy, yes, let's stay in alignment with the story that we want to tell. I've been told a few times in sessions that people rely on me for that. They really like that, right? So what does that help me do? Lean into it. Yes, that is a quality I have. That's a strength I have. I am not shy to speak up in a co-write because I can help us stay on track like that. And then I utilize that in Compass. I help artists see themselves or vocally as well. I'm seeing you veer off over here. This is away from what you told me you want. This is away from who you are. Let's come back. Like let's adjust the way you're singing that song, or let's adjust the arrangement, or let's adjust, what do we need to adjust to help you be true to yourself? What qualities do you have that you can lean into more, amp up, because they are amazing qualities in you? Are you full of humor? Great. Be witty on X, be funny in your social media posts, lean into the humor. We all need it. We need to laugh. We need it. So in a tour, within the group on a tour. There's someone who's the comedian in the tour group. There's someone who's the grandma in the tour group. There's someone who's everyone plays a different role. And that is not to box you in and make you feel small. It's to help you lean into your strengths, utilize them, be that person, because someone else can't be that. So allow yourself to be that. There are songwriters like Patty Griffin, one of my favorite songwriters, who writes stories that aren't really just about her, right? If we look at her whole body of work, you can find themes that would tell you a lot about who she is as a person, but she writes stories about lots of people's perspectives, right? And I wouldn't say that's harder, but in many ways it's harder to do that so well. But maybe let's look at her. That's her strength. Her strength as a Americana writer is to tell these stories. And again, if we looked at all her songs, we would find themes and qualities that are about who she is as a person and that's why she's telling those stories the way she tells them. So what life experience do you have that would be like, this is what has given me strength. This is what has given me this superhero quality. Let me lean into it. Let me lean into, someone wrote here, I sing through the pain. Amazing. Turn your pain into something beautiful through your art. So I look at Little Nas X, who is a queer spiritual warrior, and they are expressing that consistently in all their work. Their queerness comes through, their humor comes through, their spiritual journey comes through, and they're taking you on that journey with them, and they're being humorous, and they're definitely being a disruptor, a rebel at the same. They are disrupting the culture. They are disrupting their genre of music. They are disrupting. They're being that disruptor, that rebel, warrior, spiritual. And how did they go to the Met Gala? They showed up in a gold suit, knight in shining armor, literally a spiritual quest, a spiritual warrior. How did they show up in a music video? Hot pink crop top football uniform, soldier, warrior, queer, humor, always throwing in their humor. So who are you? What are your life experiences that you are sharing that really highlights yourself? And you can't help it. You can't help but be yourself. So be yourself magnified. What adjectives, as I said, like what do you bring into a writing room? What do you bring into the world when you walk into the space? What makes you different? Is it your quirkiness? Is it your humor? Is it your compassion? Now, how do you express that everywhere? How do you share your compassion in your music video? It can definitely be in the storyline that you choose to write. How do you share your compassion in your social media posts? I was talking with someone earlier. Oh, well, let's just talk about introverted and extroverted. If you are a showman, your show is going to be very spectacular. It's going to be very big and broad and bold. Maybe you're dancing, maybe there's a showman quality. And if you're extremely introverted, not even extremely, if you're introverted, you're going to give a performance that is more inviting everyone into your world. Now, you could do that in a million ways. Here's a couple favorite social media concepts I have for being an introvert. You could literally sit in a chair, read a book, turn the pages ASMR quality, and then on your screen comes either a quote from the book, a thought you have from reading the book, a reflection you have about the book, and you don't even have to speak. You don't even have to look at the camera. That is an introvert's way of expressing your message and something that matters to you with your audience using a social media platform. And there are millions of introverts who would love to just watch you read a book and then read what you have to say about it, either about the book or, oh, this book inspired this song of mine, and here's the lyrics to the song, and here's why this book inspired. I mean, you could do a whole series on one book. Why not? I've talked about that idea. Maybe I'll do it. But you see, I'm a Gabby person. I talk. I use video and communication and conversation to connect because, and even better would be if I was on my feet and moving, because that I like that too. I move, moving. Are you a dancer? Are you a dancer? That's going to be part of your artistry. You have life experiences that shaped you. Those life experiences could either be directly communicated through your song and storytelling, like spelling it out. This is what happened in my life. They could be subtly talked about and never telling us the plot, but sharing the emotional impact with us. Your truth is where it happens. I'm a really colorful person, vibrant and colorful. I love vibrant colors. Working with graphic designers, I told them, I was like, I love vibrant colors, but if it's too vibrant, it like just looks like childish on screen, right? But I need the vibrancy. And I love patterns and textures. So everything I do, even if it's on a digital website, there's pattern and there's texture. There's got to be layers. There's got to be little fun things going on. Um, Elegant, bohemian, chic. That all like that is me. That is my brand. That needs to translate to my brand. Sanju, hello. So knowing who you are, leaning into your quirkiness, your strengths, your wonderful weirdness, those are all the aspects that you bring into your brand. I'm colorful, vibrant, love texture and pattern. Texture, it's in my hair. Movement, it's in my hair. Pattern, movement. I'm simply in this shirt today, but my pants have my samurai pattern, texture, movement. Did I get the pants in here for you well enough? Let's move this camera. Yeah. Goes with my tattoo, patterns. And it's funny because a friend of mine, when she saw these pants, she said, that reminds me of high school. We used to put patches on our clothes. I was like, totally, because I'm the same person. In high school, we'd put patches, I'd sew them on. I used to wear my father had bars from when he was in the Korean War. He was in the army. He was in the army. I used to wear his bars, patterns, textures, movement. So my website has patterns, textures, movement. My clothes has patterns and textures and movement. This little imperfection right here, I don't mind because it's a layer of red on red and it's got some texture. Again, if I had taken 10 more minutes to prepare myself, I'd be wearing a scarf that gives me another little layer of color and texture. I know that I love patterns and textures, so everything I do, layers, patterns, textures. It's got to have it. So knowing who you are is how you're going to create everything in your brand. Knowing who you are is how you share yourself. Patterns and textures. Those aren't even mine, but I moved into a place that had patterns and textures because it's my taste. And then I got that little hot pink magenta lamp for my wife. And then if I move you in this direction, plants, texture. So ask yourself personality wise, and then also look around your house and look around your room and look around your closet. What am I about? What do I see? I have a lot of leather, or I have a lot of black and white, or I have a lot of, what's your thing? Your thing is your thing. And then it's going to show up layered everywhere. Patterns, textures, for me. I have two wax seals that I had made. One WP, one's a WP and the other is my Bismillah tattoo. And I have wax that I can melt and drip. And I have a glass pen and an inkwell because when I write letters, I'm of the Victorian era, and I like to write them with my inkwell and my dip my ink and I write. And I've always loved a wax seal, and I put a wax seal on the envelope. And every logo that I've ever made is a version of a wax seal. My first one actually looked like directly, like it looked three-dimensional. It was red, like my actual wax seal that I have. And then the next version was a butterfly, but it was still in a circle and still had that sense of like a seal and a crest. And my next one was a simple monochromatic, double patterns, textures, like exactly what I like, my brand. My next one was um, a two-tone color, so it was blue with a different blue cobalt on the outside, turquoise to cobalt, and the other one was orange to burgundy red. So they were again monochromatic, big WP, double stripe circle wax seal. And my current, as you can see, Wendy Parr is double lined. Wendy Parr method. It is another version of a wax seal. I know that's what I love, and literally since my first website, gosh, when was that? 25 years ago, more, almost 30 years ago, I've had literally just variations of a wax seal. I know what I like. Keep using it. It's consistent. Various variations, they change, they evolve, they grow, and yet there's a lot of consistency. So who are you and what are you about and what life experiences do you have and what quirky things do you possess that you want to lean into and magnify? That's your brand. I love connecting people and bringing them together. I started the Artist Circle. I led a live event for 4 years, not for four, yeah, for 4 years, more than 4 years. I led a live event every 2 months in LA, New York, and Nashville. I've done it for companies. I've done it in India. I've done it in London. I lead it I've led it at NAM and Jump Global. It's all about again, I'm going to go back to I love to evolve as a person, grow as a person, share those tools with other people. I created an event that was essentially a support group for creatives disguised as a networking event. And it was all about getting people to connect it is about getting people to connect in a genuine way with real conversation. And we get to find out that we are all going through the same thing together and that everyone in the room can really support each other and help each other. Someone else's has experienced something you haven't, and they're like, oh, you're going through that now? This is how I dealt with it. And vice versa for everybody. I led that event. Now I lead it at conferences. And now everything I do has that component. In a seminar, in the Compass program, the community, the group itself has time to talk to each other, meet each other, connect with each other, be supportive, creating a support system for creatives because we need each other. And this is helpful to gain insight, resources. Oh, this artist talks to that artist. Can you help me know how you built your Patreon? It's so successful. Yes, I can. Growth, inspiration, resources, building a community that champions each other. I have done that throughout my whole career in various iterations because community and a supportive system that champions one another so that you know you're not alone and that other people can be a part of your growth to help elevate you and you can help elevate others. That's what I'm about. I did a dinner party version of it right before COVID. I will continue to do that one. It'll come back around because I love bringing people together with good food, music. Great food, good people, good food, good music, good people. Recipe for life, right there. So knowing that that's my recipe for life, good food, good music, good people, I like to curate my life to have good food, good music, and good people. I'm a happy camper. So I go back to you discovering yourself, you knowing yourself more, having that clarity so that you can keep making choices that produce art that is aligned with you and tells your story the way only you can do it. If you do want to have more information about this, you want to go a little deeper, I have two suggestions. One, my Navigator program. It's a taste of my 6-month artist development program. So if you are a pro artist and you want to dive deeper into the who am I, so I can create every piece of my art to be congruent and unique, and it's all merging together, apply for Compass. We actually start on July 16th. So these are our final days of accepting applications. And if that interests you, apply. my Instagram. It's in my link is in my bio. It's obviously right on my website, and I will drop it right here in this Instagram conversation. And if you are not at a pro or emerging level yet, or maybe you're just not ready for a 6-month program, check out Navigator. It's a mini course. It is a taste of Compass, and it starts to ask you the questions to get to know yourself, to know what are these wonderful qualities about myself that I want to lean into and bring out and bring into my message and my brand. And your message everywhere is your brand. You are your brand. You being consistently you. And if you're not aware of what you're consistently being, you might be creating something you didn't even know you were creating. Like, oh, I'm giving off this vibe, and that wasn't not my intention. It's a thing I get very excited about with Compass, that consistently the artists have said, I'm so much more clear about who I am. And it gives me the confidence to use my voice to stand behind my vision, to stand behind my choices. And when we can each be really clear about ourselves and confident to bring that inner vision to life, we get better art. You're going to be a happier camper. So now we got happier artists, more successful artists, and better art in the world. I like all of those things. Good people, good music, good food. All right, y'all. I thank you for joining me. I'm certainly down. We have some really cool things planned for the next. I have a whole series that we're gonna do, and we'll start to let you know about the series and what's coming. We're gonna set it up for you, and twice a month I now have guests on this live so that I can have conversations with people. So again, good people, good music. We might have to add snacks to this. So Emmeline will be our guest on the 16th, the evening of the 16th. All right, you all. Thank you for joining me. And of course, please DM me. Let me know in the comments any topics you want me to cover. That would be really cool. We've got some really cool things coming forward, and we'll clarify it so you know what you're going to be tuning into. I thank you for tuning in and sharing some life and some time with me. Thank you all. I'll see you next week.